Class is in session. MLB hitting the book show Friday, September the 5th. Ian Cameron and Connor Mack with you, ready to break down the Friday MLB card, our final show of the week. So we'll get right into it, beginning with the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. We've got Milwaukee minus 135, road favorites, 8.5 the total. Quinn Priester for the Brewers and Johan Oviedo for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And how about the Pirates, man, thumping the Dodgers, taking care of the Dodgers 3 games there at PNC Park. And we've talked about this Pirates team. They've got a phenomenal home record. If they could have even played half as good this season on the road as they have here at home, they could be actually battling for a wild card spot right now, believe it or not. But there is no denying how well the Pirates have played. They're now 41-30 at PNC Park this season. And for the very first time, I contemplated betting against Milwaukee, and I have not done that, obviously, very often. In fact, I've been betting on them quite a bit. Quinn Priester, though, has been good. You have to give him credit. He has certainly had a solid season for the Milwaukee Brewers. We'll see if he can keep it rolling here for this Milwaukee team. 2.86 ERA. When's the last time he had one really bad start against the Mets back in early August? And other than that, he has just been consistent with 2 runs or less pretty much in every single start other than that one. But let's not take anything away from Johan Oviedo for Pittsburgh, who has come back from a stint on the injured list. And in the 2 starts since returning, he's only given up 3 runs in 9 innings against Boston and St. Louis and Toronto. He also pitched very well in that other start he had as well. So Oviedo's thrown the ball pretty well for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Put it this way, Pittsburgh's been great at home, and I don't really want to fade them as a home underdog here. And this is one spot where if I were to bet this, I'd actually go Pittsburgh here. I like what I'm seeing with them at home, 41-30. 42-30, I should say, now at home. I think there's value on the Pirates, even though we know how great Milwaukee is. So, yeah, Pittsburgh or nothing. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the Pirates playing some good baseball here. Priester, though, has been just like the consistent, all season long. This guy, I think he's pitched better. Did not think he would pitch this well. This one was tough.
Former Pirate too. I do want to mention that.
Yeah.
Or does that give Pittsburgh a little advantage here? They know what he's got.
It's tough to go against the Brewers. I kind of lean the Pirates. In the end, I didn't bet this one. Pirates take care of business. Of course, they kind of own the Dodgers, which they have their own problems. But Padres kept losing, so I guess that that always helps them when it comes down to it. So, and Oviedo, these 4 starts, he's been right around there, 4 or 5. He's been really, really good.
Very solid. Yep.
At home. And just these guys like Reynolds are just had bad years. They just couldn't score runs, even though their home record's been better. They've just been coming alive a little bit. More key hits, extra base hits, where you just weren't seeing that at all earlier in the year. So, I think the Pirates, if I had to, I lean that way. It's tough. The Brewers just, I'm sure a lot of people have made a lot of money betting on them. Well, they're red hot.
I'm sure there's going to be people that say Milwaukee minus 135. Right away, bet the Brewers here. But I'm like, hold on now. This Pirates team's been a mini freight train here at home. Be careful with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Tonight, no doubt. All right, Mets and Reds. This is a big one because, look, if the Reds are going to do anything to get back into the wild card race, they've got to, at the very least, win this series. I would say they probably got to sweep it if they're really going to get themselves back close enough to the Mets for that final wild card spot in the NL. They're 5 games back of the Mets right now. So there's a huge series. This season's over for the Reds if they lose this series, period. We've got the Mets minus 115 road favorites, 9.5 the total. David Peterson, don't like his form. When you look at what we've seen, he's had a couple of really rough starts. Both of them, believe it or not, were at Citi Field, where normally he pitches very well. And yet on the road, he's pitched okay the last couple starts. But pitching in this ballpark, I don't know. The walks are a huge issue. He's had 13 walks in the last 4 starts. That is a big concern, especially in a ballpark where you walk guys and you give up 1 big hit and you're in some big-time trouble here at Great American Ballpark. Andrew Abbott had a rough start against Arizona, pretty much solid other than that. We'll see how he fares here in this game. What I do know is neither of these starters are going to go deep. Abbott doesn't always, and we know we're not probably going to get a ton of length out of David Peterson. And right now, these are two bullpens that leave a lot to be desired. The Mets bullpen hasn't been great for a while. The Reds bullpen, we saw what happened against the Blue Jays with that Reds bullpen. They gave up a shit ton of runs. So I like the over here. 9, it's gone up to 9.5. I think there's runs scored in this game. From a side perspective, Mets playing really good ball. There's no denying that. Obviously, they've been on a nice run. They took 2 of 3 from Detroit. They're 6-4 in their last 10. Feels like a last gasp, though, for Cincinnati. And I think I like Abbott just a little bit more than I like Peterson. So I guess I lean Reds here in this game. And they did play a tough series again. I know they lost 2 of 3 from against Toronto, but they played the Jays very tough. And maybe they can do the same here against the Mets. And they're going to have to, because, again, if the Reds don't win this series, that is going to take away any small, slim chances they have of being a wild card team. What do you think here, Mets Red?
Yeah, I like the over. By the time I kind of was going to get to this, the 9s are gone. I still kind of lean at 9.5. So I think the pitchers are too good. And Peterson, I hate that he's off that horrible start at home. At home, he's kind of was good all year. He had a few bad home starts and just awful that last one. And before that, he had a couple of good road starts. And Abbott, a little bit shaky. I'd rather back him too. Mets, though. The bats have come alive. They have some crazy numbers off Abbott, too, when I was going through it. The numbers here earlier. Because I jotted down on some of the props, Soto and a few others. Well, I think it was really last year. 356 off him. So Lindor 3 for 7. All these guys have kind of hit him well. Yeah, so I'm off. I agree. If you got the 9 or even an 8.5, if you really got the over, I think could work out.
All right, White
or
Sox.
The team totals. Yeah. These are good pitchers. I hate Peterson's off the fucking shelling too. He could get shelled again, but it's kind of a tricky little spot, I think.
Yeah, no doubt. This is a spot I have nothing on, so I'll just throw it to you. What do you think? White Sox Tigers.
Yeah, when I looked at this with Flaherty, I'm like, I think he could pitch better here at home. He hasn't been very good, but when he has been, it's been at home. But everything, the weather's decent. It's kind of left to right, but blowing out to left. They've gone just over these two teams. Because I thought Smith could pitch well here. We have an 8.5, so that was a little bit tricky. It'll just keep me off. I think between these two, 11 of 12, between them, the last 12 have gone over. So, man. But Tigers at this price, there's just no way.
No.
Give me this White Sox team. Montgomery, raking.
Won 5 in a row, the White Sox. You can quibble about the competition, but there was 4 games against the Twins, and 1 against the Yankees. But, hey, they've won 5 in a row, and they're getting a nice price.
White Sox. Tigers are just like, they're 81 and 60, but it's been the second half's been kind of and I think a lot of their wins have been against not the best teams too. When they've had some wins here in the second half. So White Sox.
Yeah, no bet, but I'm with you. It would be White Sox at this price. The way they've been playing of late, but the only concern I have is Detroit at home, and Flaherty is better at home. But I would still lean White Sox here, definitely in this one. All right. Big series this weekend, obviously. 3.5 games separate them for first in the AL East. Blue Jays and Yankees. We've got the Yankees minus 125, home favorites, 9 the total. Blue Jays have owned the Yankees. Now, a lot of those wins were at Rogers Center. Now the Jays got to show they can do it at Yankee Stadium. Cam Schlittler for the Yankees tonight. Kevin Gossman for the Blue Jays. Hopefully he doesn't hit the shits tonight, Schlittler, for the Yankees. But he hasn't been lately. He's been very solid. This young pitcher here for the New York Yankees. Gossman's very capable, very good as well, but he has allowed 9 runs in 13 innings against the Yankees this year. It hasn't always been smooth sailing for Gossman against this particular team. So, I think it's certainly the Yankees have to win this series. If they lose more ground to the Jays this late in the season, kiss the first place chase goodbye. I think they have to take 2 or 3 if they're going to keep themselves afloat in the race for first in the AL East, because they can't lose ground to the Jays when the Jays have already clinched the tiebreaker and the season series over the Yankees. So really, even though the Jays are 3.5 back of the Yankees, they're really the Yankees, or the 3.5 ahead of the Yankees. They're really 4.5 ahead of the Yankees because they get the tiebreaker as well. So it's a big series for the Yankees. It's big for both, but it's bigger for the Yankees because they have to gain ground if they're going to have any chance here of winning the division. I do favor Schlittler a little bit over, just because Gausman has had some struggles against the Yankees in the past. But I think these are 2 teams I could only look over the total as far as total right now because of the 2 bullpens. Yankee bullpen did not have a good series against Houston. Even though they won that series, they were still very, that they almost gave it away yesterday, and they gave it away 2 nights before. And the Jays bullpen's been one of the worst bullpens in baseball the last month. So I think if you don't get the runs early, you certainly could get them late. So I did bet over 9 here. What do you think? Blue Jays, Yankees.
Yeah, I looked at it. Is this maybe start where Schlittler gets hit? He's been pretty good. I think he's due for one. Like, even at Toronto, July 22nd, 5 innings, he gave up 2 runs, 7 hits, but he got worked out of it. 3 walks, 3 Ks.
You know what concerns me, C-Mac? Look at the strength. We don't talk strength of schedule for starting pitchers, but it applies here with Schlittler. I mean, the Twins, the Rays, the Nationals, the White Sox, bad teams, weak
Miami,
lineups. Yep.
Tampa. Yeah, that could be true, and maybe we get runs. Gausman, man, this guy has always been so tough to figure out for me.
Yep.
Like, because when he's on, it's just money. Of course, the sinker, the splitter, they just get ground balls. But when he leaves it up, he doesn't have it. He can get tattooed. So I always look, though. He always has great numbers versus lefties.
Yeah.
For the most part in his career, and even this year. We mentioned on Wednesday's show with the Yankees, Astros scored a bunch of runs late, won it. There, but that's what I was worried about. I think with Alexander with the lefties, but this seems like this is an advantage for you're going to get 6 or 7 lefties in this Yankee lineup.
Yep.
So, yeah, tough. I hope you get the over. I had to stay off. I kind of lean the Jays just because of the price. I just think Yankees. We talk about all the time. I think they're a little bit sloppy. I don't love their bullpen, even though they've been a little bit better of late. But big series here, huge.
Big series. And they actually opened as bigger favorites. There's actually been Jays money today in this game. It's come down a little bit. I think it's just what you're saying. They're just fundamentally, the way they play the game, Toronto, it's been a little bit more crisper, sharper, better than the Yankees. Yankees make errors. Yankees don't run the base as well. Yankees make errors in the field. The Jays put the ball on the bat on the ball. They run the base as well. They're better defensively. And I think all those little things are on their side. And obviously the price, you're getting with Toronto. I think people see that, no question.
They were close for me to taking him, just like at plus 110 were the Jays.
Yeah, no question. All right, Dodgers and Orioles. We've got the Dodgers minus 160 road favorites, 9 the total. Glasnow and Kramer on the mound in this matchup. We'll see how it goes with the Dodgers. Obviously, look, trying to bounce back here from a terrible series in Pittsburgh against the Pirates. See if the Dodgers can right the ship. I mean, not only did they lose in that series, but they got outscored 17-10 by that Pirates team. So it was just an ugly series all around for the LA Dodgers. Glasnow on the hill for them here tonight. Dean Kramer, though, for the Orioles has suddenly hit the skids here, hit the shits the last 2 starts, 14 runs in 8 innings against the Astros and the Giants. So what has happened here to Dean Kramer, all of us? He's actually having a pretty good season. So, and by the way, you talk about weather, and this total was 8.5. I'm seeing 9 now. Pretty good wind blowing out, favorable hitting conditions. So this is an over as well for me. Now, I know Glasnow has pitched, pretty solid here.
By the way, I got Ohtani in like an hour ago.
Oh, did they
scratched? And yeah, but it hasn't been on any of the. We're probably, I can't even see it, even like a lot of the books. Wow. But I have it at like a lot of places here. MLB.com, Dodger, it says Ohtani starting here.
Well, if it's Ohtani, he's only going to go a certain amount of innings, and you're going to get a lot of Dodgers bullpen, and that's a hit and miss group, as we know.
I think it's both, though. Like, both are only going to go 4 or 5. Like, I don't think whoever starts. We'll go that way.
That's
Yeah, okay, I
possible.
see Otani here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you go. We are going to see Shohei Ohtani here, it looks like, tonight in this game. Yeah, they got Ohtani, 4.18 ERA on the season. Yeah, Ohtani starting. So what is he? Let me just see if we got the plan here tonight. Ohtani had to be scratched from his, yeah, I knew he had to be scratched from his last start.
Yeah.
He's been moved to Friday. And Ohtani is so Glasnow is apparently going to move to tomorrow and start tomorrow
Okay.
on Saturday is apparently the latest on that. So that's the change here. I still like the over. It doesn't change the fact that Kramer hasn't been good lately. It doesn't change the fact that you're still going to get into that mediocre Dodgers middle relief after Ohtani leaves the game. And I think we could still see runs here. What do you think, Dodgers Orioles?
I think it's the over too. Dean Kramer's a tough guy to figure out. Pitching well until these last two starts.
Yep.
Kind of the old Dino came back. I mean, he had 1K in that start against San Francisco. His bats finally woke up on an offense that's been really, really bad. He got shelled before that against the Astros. That was the second time seeing him, though. Kind of one of those classic spots. Shuts them down. The next starts gets ripped 5 days later. So it's a nice night in Baltimore, like for runs. I think so too. And you know why? The Dodgers, I just do nothing in Pittsburgh. The offense was just anemic, horrible. You got to give a little to the Pirates pitching, but I mean, to see these guys continue to struggle. Hernandez is on base percentage, is slugging. He's got to get going. I think he will. But Conforto, he's like 3 for 3 with a homer, but this guy in the lineup is just holy shit. And the Dodgers, I think it's kind of a weak lineup other than the top. I mean, Kim's playing second tonight. Rushing's in. He's had a few big hits. Rojas is at third. I take the O's. I'm just flat out. Tell the Dodgers get going. Yeah, you can't take them at this price. But I'm sure a lot of people are thinking after they get swept there. You know what I mean?
I think the Dodger betting bandwagon, I should say, might have unloaded. Might have jumped off the old train after that series.
Yeah, so, they're still out there, though.
Yeah, like I don't love Baltimore, though, because I can't back Baltimore in Kramer's current form right now. I just can't do it. So that's why I like the total here more. All right, Phillies and Marlins. I'll be brief here. It's Sanchez and the Phillies are pass. I think he can pitch well here. Minus 230, though. Home road favorites, 8 the total. It's just no value. That's the problem. And the Phillies, too, offensively on the road can still be a little bit erratic. You know, they'll have some games where they score runs like they did 10-8 at Milwaukee, the first game of that series. But then the last 2 games of that series, they only scored 5 runs combined. And we know at times this offense has disappeared away from home. But Beloso for the Marlins is only going to go 3, 4, 5 innings, and you'll get a lot of Marlins bullpen after that. And Sanchez has been pretty good overall. He's had a couple rougher starts, but those were the Mets and the Reds, and both of those were on the road. I think he'll pitch well, and he's dominated the Marlins. Like, he has owned them. He has given up just one run in 23 previous innings pitched against the Miami Marlins. 1 run in 23 innings all time against the Marlins for Christopher Sanchez. So he has owned this lineup, but I don't like the price. So it's a no bet for me. It would be Phillies or nothing. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I might have a little bit here on this under, because I think Sanchez could be all right, but I don't trust the Phillies on the road. I just don't trust their lineup. To me, the value is completely here with the Marlins at plus 200, flat out. Beloso's not going to go far. I mean, he hasn't seen them a ton because he's out of there quick, but these Phillies haven't hit him much already this year, even last year. I think they're in under 200 off him. Like he went 3 innings. He gave up 1 run, and he just went another inning. But that was earlier in June. So I just think this is a huge price. No way. Marlins here or nothing. Give me the dog. Lean under. I might have a piece of this under.
Yeah.
At 8.
I don't like the matchup for Miami against Sanchez, but you're right. It's just way too. So that's why I can't recommend Miami, but there's no way. It's just too expensive on Philadelphia. You know, Sanchez could
for them on the road
and lose 2-1 or something, because that Philly offense on the road, it does bother me. It really does perturb me how sometimes they could just go ice cold any given road game. We have seen that from them before. All right, Mariners and Braves. We've got Atlanta minus 130, home favorites total here, 7.5 shaded to the under. I mean, how do you back Seattle? It's tough. I want to back them here. They're a nice price. They're playing for their playoff lives right now. Logan Gilbert's a guy I like, although I don't like his form all that much of late. His last 2 road starts have been pretty rough, giving up 9 runs in his last 8 innings against Philly and Cleveland. So I don't like his road performances lately. And meanwhile, Chris Sale on the other side came back from the DL, or the IL, I should say, against Philly, and he looked really good. 9 strikeouts, 1 run in 6 innings. He pitched really, really well. And, Seattle's in a bad way right now. And until I see them kind of right the ship, it's tough to back them. I like the price, and I like Gilbert, but I don't know if I can do it. Seattle's just a mess right now. C-Mac, what do you think here? Seattle, Atlanta.
This is classic bad spot. I thought Seattle, this might be the year they could. This just been a bad run for them. Offense is not going to. And then some night when they scored some runs, the pitching's gone to shit. They're just not very good on the road. Flat out, when these guys, Gilbert, Kirby, all these guys, just different pitchers on the road. So I think this was an under. I just think, and I like the Braves. I know the price isn't crazy. First 5 minus a half. Or I kind of thought they could get. We have these low totals. I always talk about taking the first 5 team total. Can they get a few off Gilbert? I mean, the 1.5 minus 140, 150. Because I don't know if Seattle really hits Sale here. So this is tough too. All money on Atlanta too. It's kind of gone down. People liking the Mariners, seeing them at this price. A little bit of a sharp play. So I'm off.
All right, Cleveland and Tampa Bay. We've got Shane Baz on the mound for the actually, no, it's Griffin Jacks on the mound here for the Rays, and Gavin Williams for the Guardians. Tampa Bay minus 150, home favorite, 7.5 the total here in this game. Here's another team, Cleveland, that's had some issues there. 1-4 in their last 5 games. Tampa Bay, all of a sudden, my goodness, 7 straight wins for the Rays, and we left them for dead about a month ago, or certainly even just a few weeks ago. And all of a sudden, here's Tampa Bay back in the wild card race. They're only 2 games back of this free-falling Seattle team that we're talking about. Not to mention Seattle and Boston are, well, actually, no, Boston's a little bit ahead, but Seattle's the team that Tampa can still catch for that final spot. And they're only 2 games behind right now. We'll see how Griffin Jacks performs. He's just going to be the starter. That is true. And Ian Seymour is going to be the primary. Seymour Butts. I always think of that joke from Moe's Tavern and Simpsons back in the day when I see that. Yeah. 2.9.
Jack. Yeah. Jack me off, they call him. Yeah, Bart.
Yeah. The prank calls to Moe. Oh, man, classic. That's what
we get an Al here. Alcoholic. We got an Al. Yeah. Last name Alcoholic. It's just so funny.
That was good shit. Yeah, don't watch The Simpsons now. It sucks. But the first 10 seasons were gold. Some of the best television you'll watch from a comedy standpoint. Now it's terrible, but that's another story altogether. Nevertheless, here with Tampa. Look, I'm not fading Tampa, but, I mean, come on. Now what is it now? Minus 150 here with the Rays in this game. I mean, that's the thing. We've been getting good prices lately to back Tampa Bay. Tampa's been dogs, small favorites during this win streak, but now they're laying minus 150. I don't want to lay that much of a price, so it's a pass. I lean Tampa. Could only look at the red-hot Rays, but like I said, I don't like this price enough. C-Mac, what do you think? Guardians, Rays.
Yeah, I think the price is a little bit too big, and the Guardians could be a little bit live. But if they are, this is what I like. In this, I know there's not a lot of 8s out there, but I took the under 8 here. Wind blowing in. I know it's the ballpark. But unless one of these teams score a bunch of runs, I think it could stay under. There's mostly 7.5s now. But I think this game, it's kind of a perfect spot between these two to stay under, I think.
All right, next up, another team that because of Seattle's floundering, they're very much still alive. The Kansas City Royals, also just 2 games behind Seattle for the final wild card spot. Michael Waka Flocka Flame, new father, Michael Waka. His wife just gave birth recently. Kansas City minus 135, home favorites. Minnesota with Pablo Lopez back on the mound, 8 the total. I think because Pablo Lopez is pitching, we're getting a better price on Kansas City. I'm not ready to trust Pablo Lopez. He's been out a while. Who knows if he's going to be sharp his first start back? And he's on a pitch count, too, tonight. He's on a pitch count. He's on a pitch limit. And that means we're going to have to see a lot of the Minnesota bullpen. And this Minnesota bullpen has been, we know how bad it's been. It's been really bad since the trade deadline when they traded away all their best relievers. The Minnesota bullpen has a 5.04 ERA on the season, but the numbers have been worse lately. 11.2 is the ERA of the Minnesota Twins bullpen in the last 10 games. They have an 11 ERA in the last 10 games. Kansas City's got a 2.56 bullpen ERA during that same span. I think I like Kansas City. I took the Royals here, minus 130. I think we were getting a bit of a better price on them because Lopez is perceived as an ace, but coming off the IL, I'm not so sure he's going to pitch like an ace tonight. What do you think here, Minnesota, Kansas City?
Yeah, I think he's looked decent in his few starts in the minors. I think he's going to go 4 or 5. It's under. First 5, I think, is good. Even full game, even with the Twins bullpen. I think Laka pitches well. I don't trust the Royals at all to score runs. They kind of were there. I just don't. This lineup sucks. They won yesterday, but I was on the under. I don't see it. Unless the Lopez gives, I think Laka's going to be kind of his normal, gives up 2 runs here, goes 6 innings, so under. Can't take the Royals at this price. I don't know why I can't
hear you.
do it.
I don't do it often, but I'm going to do it tonight because I think you're getting. I think this could have been even a bigger price if it was someone other than Lopez on the.
Probably.
Like I said, I'll take a shot tonight. One night only. It sounds like a concert. One night only. Ian Cameron.
Night only.
Join him on stage with the Kansas City Royals, backing them as favorites. All right, next up, we got Houston and Texas. Even money, minus 110, both sides. 7.5 the total here in this game. This is a huge game. Both teams. Houston's trying to, hold on to first in the AL West. And Texas, they're another team right on the heels of Seattle for the final wild card spot in the American League, 1.5 games back. So this is a big-time series here. Houston dropped 2 of 3 against the Yankees at home, so we'll see how this plays out. It looks like there's been a pitching change here as well. Colton Gordon is now going to be the starting pitcher here tonight for the Houston Astros. He hasn't been great. Merrill Kelly has been solid, 3.24 ERA. All the money's coming in on Texas. I kind of agree. With it here with the Rangers here. I could see this, too, being a tough spot for the Astros coming off that pretty intense series with the Yankees. The 3 games with them. Texas is obviously needs every win they can right now, trying to track down Seattle. They're only a game and a half now back of Seattle for that final wild card spot. So I have not bet it, and I won't bet it, but it would be a lean for me to Texas. What do you think here, C-Mac?
Same. I didn't. It's a little bit pricey. I talk about this all the time. I mean, it's nothing crazy, though. When I try to get these first 5 team totals, I usually get way better numbers in the full game, and I want to attack the pitcher. That's which I think is here with Gordon. Even a Rangers team that's offense has been pretty bad. Scored some runs lately and won some games. So when I looked at this, I thought their first 5 team total here could get there, even the full game. Maybe Gordon pitches well. There's 8s, there's 7.5s. I don't trust the guy. Not on the road. And Kelly, I think, could be good enough here. Astros team total under, maybe. That offense is tough to figure out on a day-to-day basis, the Astros.
Yep.
And a little bit their pitching and bullpen's been a little rough the last couple weeks.
Astros that bullpen is not the same pen either. And Jose Altuve went 0 for 11 in that Yankee series. Not one hit.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he's off, some of these guys, it could be ugly. He's such a good hitter. He still is, but when he was younger, average-wise. But I always thought for he's so little he has such a big swing. I mean, he gets away with it.
Yep.
For forever, but yeah.
Yeah, it's catching up a little bit. Age catching up just a little bit now to Jose Altuve for sure. There's no question about that. All right, but there are some key bats out for Texas, but I still lean that way. But yeah, no Garcia, no Seager in their lineup
tonight. Yeah,
tonight for the Rangers. All right, San Francisco.
Yeah.
So that's a concern. All right, San Francisco, St. Louis. We've got Seymour and McGreevy, the pitching matchup here. Carson Seymour, Michael McGreevy, St. Louis -120 home favorites. This is no great handicapping angle here, other than I'm riding San Francisco as a dog. They're playing great. I mean, they're rolling. They're playing great ball. They're hitting. The lineup's been smoked. All of a sudden, they couldn't hit the weight out of a wet paper bag 3/4 of the season. Now, all of a sudden, the offense looks like the red machine of the Reds in the 1970s with Pete Rose and Joe Morgan and all those guys. That's what Foster. It's looking like. Yeah. I mean, they're just crushing the ball. And even before the Colorado series, I mean, they're putting up 13, 15. They put up 12 runs against the Cubs, in one game at home. I mean, they're just an offense that's on fire right now, San Francisco. And I don't fully trust McGreevy. He's been more up and down, more, inconsistent. Now, Seymour, we'll see. I mean, he started against Baltimore and he struggled. 4 runs, 5 hits, 3 innings. It seems like doesn't matter with the pitching. San Francisco's bats are overcoming the pitching right now with the way they're swinging it. So at this price, I took the Giants. They're rolling. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think that's the only way to look at it. This game screams just over to me. But it just the Giants coming out of Colorado. Are we going to see them? Can McGreevy shut them down? He's looked a little bit better. I don't know what to make of this guy. I think he's got all right stuff. He's roughed up. Took some of his game at bet against him or overs. That was kind of the lone thing because I thought the total at 8.5. If the bats continue to kind of how they were at home and then Colorado, I think this gets over maybe pretty easy. That was my only thing here. And you got to think, what do we get from Seymour here? Seymour Butts. That I don't know. I'm not so sure. He just went 3, gave up 4 runs. He's obviously just going to go 3, and we'll get the rest of the Giants pen. So, yeah, to me, it would just be Giants and lean over here.
All right. Speaking of Colorado, where San Francisco.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Speaking of Colorado, where San Francisco just came from, Colorado at home facing the San Diego Padres. We've got Nick Pivetta on the mound for San Diego, Kyle Freeland for Colorado. San Diego -220, road favorites, 10.5 the total. Hopefully Mr. Freeland has cooled off a little bit from that dust-up with Rafael Devers the other night. But he is back in the rotation and pitching tonight for the Rockies. The reason he's pitching is because he got ejected in the first inning of that game. And so, they're going to put him back out there just a few days later. To be honest, he hasn't pitched nearly as bad the last 5 starts we've seen him. But obviously it's still been a rough season for him. He's not going to give you length. We know the Rockies bullpen is really taxed, really been struggling. And he has struggled against the Padres. He's allowed 14 runs in his last 16 innings against San Diego. 0-3 are the Rockies in those games. Nick Pivetta, 4 pretty good starts in a row where he's given up just a grand total of 7 runs in his last 23 innings, which is very good. However, I've got to draw your attention to the 2 starts that we have seen from Nick Pivetta here at Coors Field the last 2 years. Okay, be careful. You've got to pay attention, even if a pitcher's in good form like Pivetta is, you've got to pay attention to their history at Coors because this ballpark plays so much differently than every other ballpark in Major League Baseball. Pivetta's made 2 starts in Colorado since the beginning of last year. One last year when he was with the Red Sox and earlier this year when he was with the Padres. In those 2 starts in Coors Field, Pivetta's given up 14 runs on 17 hits in just 6.2 innings. He has been lit up big time. 2 starts here at Coors Field the last couple of years. So this is over 10.5 for me. This is actually Rockies team total I'm going to take a shot with here. Over 3.5 is all it is. 3.5 -135. All we need is 4 runs out of them. And Pivetta at Coors has given up 6 and 8 in the 2 starts he's made here at Coors the last couple of years. And all we need is 4 out of Colorado. So I'm going to rock with that. I like the full game over. I think I like that Rockies team total even more. Over 3.5 here. What do you think, C-Mac? Padres, Rockies.
Yeah, I think at 10.5, you got to take this. I know there's under money. I guess they think Pivetta pitches well. That's kind of
They look at the current form and they see last 4 starts. He's been great. Absolutely. He's been excellent for the Padres. But you got to look at those Coors Field track record. You've got to when you're handicapping this ballpark.
Definitely. And you know what I always talk about? Late innings too at Coors. Like even if there's always a 5-run inning, like just around the corner. Or more than that. The biggest one. Freeland's just been, I mean, how Padres not get runs up. They need to win here too. You're talking about the Dodgers. They just got their ass kicked by the Orioles. They're 76-64. So I don't know if it'll be easy. You know, the Rockies. It'd be sidewise. It'd be the Rockies, or your team's old. But I think there's runs. Yeah.
Does anyone want to win the NL West right now? It is a legitimate question.
No.
At this point in time. They're both spitting all over themselves, tripping all over themselves, spitting like Jalen Carter last night. But that's another spitting and tripping. Oh boy. All right. Next up, we always get goofy on Fridays, but that's okay. Athletics and Angels. We've got the Angels minus 150 home favorites, 9 the total in this game. Look, Jose Soriano is on a heater right now. He's pitching great. I think he's gone 2 straight starts without giving up a run. Jose Soriano for this Angels team. But again, I don't want to lay minus 150. It's just I don't want to do that. And I like the Athletics. They're a little spunky, feisty group. I'd lean Athletics, but I like the form of Soriano has been really good. I don't think I want to go up against it. So no bet, easy pass. What do you think here? A's, Angels.
Yeah, I think he could get ripped. He is back home after 3 starts. Now, before those last 2, he gave up 5 to the Athletics, and he struggled against them, in the past too, in a few starts. I'm like, I think he could get hit. And both these teams are off kind of the travel, both in the Midwest, really, right? Angels were at the Royals, and the A's. Barnett
A's
seems like
Yep.
A's are in St. Louis. So if this stream's over, Barnett seems like he's going to give up runs. Like, this is my next game. I was looking to the over. Also, is Butler? We don't have lineups out yet, but he had great numbers. I think 5 for 14 with 2 homers. I'm taking Rooker here. I'll give this one out. I'll put it out on Twitter. 6 for 12 with a bomb, just because the price here with it. I think his RBI is basically plus 200, and the homer plus 500. Butler's plus 750 for his. So yeah, I think there's runs tonight in this game. I think the Angels get to Barnett, of course, and of course the bullpen, the A's. But even though they've been a little bit better, and the Angels too, but it's not like I trust these guys. They're not the best pens in the world out there. So
no, they're not.
I lean over 9.
All right, lean to the over. Yeah, A's bullpen 4.7, Angels bullpen 5.01 ERA the last 10 games. So that tells you right there. Yeah,
it's like
trust.
Yeah. Still, they're not very good.
No. All right, our last game for the Friday slate: Boston, Arizona. I like the way this kid threw the ball in his debut the last time we saw him. Peyton Tolley on the mound here for the Boston Red Sox. And meanwhile, Eduardo Rodriguez, former once upon a time Boston Red Sox, on the mound here for the Diamondbacks. Boston minus 135, road favorites, 9 the total in this game. He's faced his former team, Boston, a couple of times. He was with the Tigers at the time, Eduardo Rodriguez. He got lit up. 13 runs, 8.2 innings by this Boston team, Eduardo Rodriguez. Now, Boston's got some issues now. They've got obviously Roman Anthony's absence. He's on the IL. That's significant. It's a huge bat out of this lineup, and that's a little bit concerning right now for them, with especially the way he's been swinging the bat for the Red Sox. Tolley, I like the way he pitched in his debut. 3.38 ERA. He gave up 2 runs in 5.1 innings, 8 strikeouts against Pittsburgh. And before you start to say, well, you faced the Pittsburgh Pirates. Well, Pittsburgh just swept the Dodgers. Pittsburgh's been playing some competitive baseball lately. So, that's still a solid outing here for Tolley. Now, Boston did not have a good actually, they did win 2 of 3 against Cleveland. They didn't have a good final game. But they also lost 2 of 3 over the weekend against Pittsburgh. So I think if you ask them, a 3-3 homestand against Pittsburgh and Cleveland, they wouldn't be happy about it, Boston. But now they get on the road. They start this little road trip, against Arizona and the A's. Winnable games. I like the way, obviously, Tolley pitched in his major league debut for Boston. They have crushed Rodriguez the last 2 times they've faced him. I think it's Boston here. I don't lay road chalk very often, but I took the Red Sox here, minus 130, 35. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know about the Red Sox here. I just think this goes over. And I think the D-backs are like, I know the numbers versus Rodriguez aren't great. And we'll go right to Jack of the Day. This is quick here. We're at the last game. Is Bregman, ice cold though. Lately, he hasn't hit a bomb. He's plus 600, but he does 8 for 27 with 3 bombs off Rodriguez. Story's been a little bit hotter lately. I think he's got 3 or 4 bombs his last 10 games. That's plus 525. Just good prices in a game where we could see runs. So I just wanted to hit that. The over is it, but I think the D-backs, I know Rodriguez, it's tough to take it. I think it's just kind of a tough spot. D-backs a little bit lately. I think last year they kind of beat up on the Red Sox. Looking at just putting that out there. It's nothing. Last year was last year, but yeah, I think as a dog they're live, but I think the over here.
All right, good stuff. My Jack of the Day, I like Gunnar Henderson against for maybe a Jack of the Day for the Orioles. Aaron Judge,
Yes,
I mean, the prices suck, but I mean, he's hit 6 against Gausman, 6 in the past. So it's hard to ignore Aaron Judge in that Jays-Yankees game. Trent Grisham's gone yard against Gausman, and combined with great current form. Trent Grisham is swinging the bat.
Yeah, he's been swinging it.
There's a couple against Gausman I could see. Springer for the Blue Jays. What more can he's a home run machine right now for the Blue
He's having a great year.
Barshow is starting to really crank the power bat a little bit. Vladdy could even be capable. We saw him hit one in Cincinnati. That could be a good home run game. Yankees and the Blue Jays there tonight and throughout the weekend too, between those two teams, because they're both mashing the long balls lately, the Yankees and the Blue Jays. So those are a couple I'm interested in there. What else do we see here tonight? I'm just looking down the board. Arozarena for Seattle does have one in the past against Sale. So keep that in mind. That might be something to consider. Buxton's gone yard against Waka. Jesus Sanchez has one against Merrill Kelly. In that one, let me see what else. The later games, Tatis has a homer against Kyle Freeland. Brent Rooker's hit one against Soriano. Shea Langoliers, like a Langoliers. Shea Langoliers has 2 versus Soriano in the past. So there's a couple.
Butler's got 2 too. That's what I said earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lawrence Butler too. Like I said, that might be worth a look as well. All right, that's the end of the show, the end of the week. Shout out to the chat before we get to best bets. Joey Moses, Robert Carlson, Thomas Maggio, GNL Photo, Jorge Herrera, Andrew G, S.A. Padilla. We appreciate all you guys. Newfie Codfather, Timothy Hake. Thank you to everyone for joining us here on this Friday. All we got to say is, last chance to get your chance to view the college football show that we did back on Monday. We've got a couple games tonight. Get your studying in for Saturday. Did a lot of the marquee games on Saturday. Make sure you check out College Football Hitting the Books. We're going to be back to the Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific edition of College Football Hitting the Books next week. And, of course, we'll be back with baseball 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday next week as well. All right, best bets for the Friday MLB slate. C-Mac, what do you got?
Yeah, go check out the videos. We appreciate it. Give us a thumb up or comment too. Tell us what you're on. Tell us what you like. The whole thing. I'll take a look at it. And plus, come on, NFL's back. Let's go. College football Friday night. Baseball. All right, I'm on this. I know there's no 8. I already put this in, so I'm on the Cleveland Rays under 8. That's my best bet.
All right, Cleveland, Atlanta. Or Cleveland, sorry,
Tampa
Bay. Yeah, sorry.
Mixed
up. Cleveland, Tampa Bay. Guardians, Rays. Under
Yep.
The total there. 7.5 is out there, so make sure you shop around. There you go. Cleveland, Tampa, under for C-Mac with his best bet. And my best bet here for this Friday slate, I'm going to go with Mets, Reds, over. There's still a 9 out there at BetOnline. BetOnline's got over 9, minus 125. Mets, Reds. And that game starts in 30 minutes, so get your bets in. New York Mets, Cincinnati Reds, over 9, minus 125 for my best bet here for this Friday MLB slate. We cashed with Mariners and Rays over on the last show, Wednesday best bet. So hopefully we got another winner for you here with the over and the Mets and the Reds. Great stuff. Great week. Looking forward to the weekend. College football, the first NFL Sunday. That's going to be a lot of fun as well. Excited about it. And yeah, that's it. We'll be back with you on Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific for the Week 3 edition of the College Football Hitting the Books show. And, of course, MLB later in the week. Hit the like button on the way out. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we're back Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific with the College Football Hitting the Books show. Until then, class dismissed.
Peace.